Hey, what's up? OPERATIONiDROID here, and I recently held a frequently asked questions about GBA for iOS 2.0 on Twitter with the help of my friends Mithical and Tyler Livingston. And in this video, I will be answering the questions that people asked me through Twitter using the FAQ for iOS hashtag. So, without any further ado, let's get into the first question. Ian Clausing asks, what cheat sources will be accepted? And for Game Boy Advanced, it will be GameShark, Action Replay, and Codebreaker. For Game Boy Color and Game Boy, it will be GameShark and Game Genie. Blackout Tornado asked, when will the GBA for iOS 2.0 be released? And is there some games that do not work on this update of GBA for iOS 2.0? GBA for iOS 2.0 does not have a release date because as soon as the beta testers are done testing along with the developer Riley test that is done developing, the application will come out, which is going to be very soon. And the reason we're testing is so that all games will work on this update of GBA for iOS 2.0. And as of now, we have not found one game that does not work on GBA for iOS 2.0. John Warden asked, will Mystery Dungeon Red work? If you know, of course. I do know, and indeed it will work. Ken asks, will I be able to play other emulators without them reinstalling over each other? And the answer to that is yes. Any emulator that you get from iemulators.com will be able to be downloaded aside from GBA for iOS 2.0. So you can have GBA for iOS 2.0 and any other application from iemulators.com. Dan Bob asked, regarding the Game Boy emulator, will standard Game Boy games, for example Pokemon Red, Blue, be emulated in color or black and white? They will be emulated however they were meant to be played, in black and white. I'm not quite sure if you can make them color with the addition of cheats, because you will be able to add cheats in Game Boy games. Harrison Bruner asked, will cheats be fully working? Will we be able to save the cheats so we can use them later? Yes, cheats will be fully working, and you will be able to enable and disable cheats whenever you please. So you will be able to have them there even though they're not actually working in the game. And finally, I will be making a video on cheats soon, so look out for that. Jared Simon asked, will there ever be a GBA for iOS 2.1 or 2.5, 3.0, etc.? The answer to that question is that they will be sporadic updates after the release, but they will require a new distribution method as you saw with 2.0, so they will be very rare, if they ever do happen. Julian Crumley asked, can a new provisioning profile be made so Apple has to block another thing as a fix for installing 2.0 on 7.1? Riley Testa, the developer, already has a method of distribution for GBA for iOS 2.0 that will work across all iOS devices and you will be able to install it. But Apple is not a fan of emulators on iDevices, so eventually they will find a way to block it and will have to employ a workaround to get it, as we did with the previous GBA for iOS 1.6, where we were able to move our date back to install it. Epic asked, can we have a skin for every different game, or just one skin for GBA and one for GBC? You can, but this would require manually switching between the skins when you want a different one. But the only thing that sticks are portrait and landscape skins for both GBA and GBC, all individually. So you can have a ton of skins, but every time you play you only have one skin set. But you can always go back and change the set skin that you want enabled when you play a game. I will be making a video on this to further explain. Sergio asked, after the GBA for iOS project is done, what do you all have planned on doing next? Speaking for myself, Mithical, and Tyler Livingston, being as we're a group the starters, we're going to be moving on to a lot more different projects, but we will be working with NDS for iOS. Along with Riley, he is a member of InfiniDev, the developers of NDS for iOS, so I'm sure once he's done with this, he will continue to help them with the development of NDS for iOS. Apple Tech Help 305 asked, how will we install skins onto GBA for iOS 2.0? Well, I'm going to be making a very detailed video on this, but a short answer would be you can download skins in the actual application and through the website Mithical, Tyler Livingston, and I created GBA4iOS skins.com. Apple Tech Help 305 asked another question. Will GBA for iOS 2.0 support cheats for ROM hacks, for example Pokemon Ash Gray, Light Platinum, etc.? Yes, cheats will work across all games that are allowed to have cheats, so these ROM hacks are based on actual GBA games, so they will work with them. Victor asked, can I upgrade to iOS 7.1 after downloading GBA for iOS 2.0? The answer to that is yes, and you can also upgrade to iOS 7.1 before downloading GBA for iOS 2.0. Cecil asked, will Pokemon Snakewood work without crashing in GBA for iOS 2.0? Yes it will. Dalton asked, would we be able to make and customize our own skins? Yes, actually, GBA for iOS skins YouTube page already has a tutorial on this. Michael Reynolds asked, we won't have to do any annoying date switching, will we? Because that's the worst part of downloading GBA for iOS right now. When GBA for iOS 2.0 is initially released, you will not have to, but unless Apple lessens the restrictions on what we can do or can't be installed onto iDevices, they'll do whatever it takes to keep people from installing them. And setting the date back was just a workaround when Apple tried to block GBA for iOS. William asked, with support for GBA and GBC, will there be support for .gb files as well? I'm curious about supported formats. Replace Gearboy. Yes, it will support GBA, GBC, and .gb files. Noiburst32 asked, are .gba files downloadable for GBA for iOS 2.0, or will we have to download the .zip files instead? No, you can download .gba, .gbc, .gb, and .zip files, and they will open just fine in GBA for iOS 2.0. Olaf asked, is the release date of GBA for iOS within 2 months? There is no definite answer, and we're not going to assure anything, but it is believed to fall within the rest of the month or the next. Nikki asked, will it be able to pull the real time from your device for use in ROMs? Answer to that is yes it will. It's actually quite amazing. Lanya asked, what is your favorite thing to do besides making videos and why? That is a great question, and I will keep that for a more personal Q&A. Justin asked, how is the frame rate for all the iPhone 5, all versions? Is it 30 FPS or 25 FPS? To keep this question simple for you all, it will run full speed on all compatible devices, which is iOS 7 and above. Brendan asked, does Kingdom Hearts work on it? Yes it does. I was actually showing gameplay from GBA for iOS 2.0 playing Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. Andrew asked, will GTA Advance work on GBA for iOS 2.0? It crashes on 1.6. Yes, it will. Logan asked, will the classic NES Series for GBA work on GBA for iOS 2.0? If it is formatted for GBA compatibility, it should, but if you want NES games, there's always SNES for iOS or SiOS. Jake asked, will there be some form of Wi-Fi or Bluetooth linking for multiplayer, such as Pokemon trades in the future? Unfortunately, there will not. This is a very, very hard thing to implement into an iOS device, and it will most likely not be implemented in updates to come, and it is not in GBA for iOS 2.0. Aiden asks, I would just like to know what my beta tester app is doing right now. I go on test flight every day waiting to know if it's there. Well, if you were not one of the 40 people chosen by Riley Tested, the developer, to test GBA for iOS 2.0, then the application will not be there. If you didn't receive an email from Riley himself on September 11, 2013 at 1:35 a.m., then you are not a beta tester. Admiral Zakbar asked, just a question, but is downloading the GBA for iOS safe as well as legal? I'm just asking. Lots of people say otherwise, but I don't know. Well, emulation's a very gray area. If you've never owned a Game Boy Advance, then you should not have a Game Boy Advance emulator. If you have not owned a game, then you should not have a ROM of it, because ROMs are used as a backup. But again, this is a very gray area, and regards to GBA for iOS being safe, it is very safe. Make sure that you download it from the source, which will be from Riley, and don't get it from any other place because it might have viruses and things like that. Cody asked, what will happen to the save states? I tried going through iTunes, but I can't figure it out. Well, you can't keep your save states, you can only keep saves, and I have a video on this that you might want to check out. Duke Chung asked, will games like WarioWare Twisted work on GBA for iOS? Yes. Nubinator asked, will GBA for iOS 2.0 support older iOS 7 devices? It will support all iOS 7 devices. I am triangle, backwards R, backwards E, backwards M, that says programmer. Will it be open source? We do not know to our knowledge, I'm sorry. Andrew asked, is this going to be posted on Cydia? No, it will not. Riley has specifically said that he does not want this posted on Cydia, and really there's no need because you could get it if you're jailbroken or not. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope that these questions were useful for you. But if you feel like I did not answer one of your questions, then feel free to leave it in the comment section below so that I can answer it. In other news, I want to have a Q&A with the developer Riley Testa. I need your help to do it. So, if you would leave a like, that'd be amazing, because the more likes that you guys leave, the higher probability that we can get Riley Testa, the developer of GBA for iOS 2.0, on for a Q&A, which would be just incredible. Anyways, I'd like to keep you guys informed with GBA for iOS 2.0. That's why I made this video, to give you guys all the information that I have. But anyways, if you want more information, if you've missed out on prior videos of mine, then I have a playlist all about GBA for iOS 2.0. And that's pretty much it. If you want to be the first one to know when GBA for iOS 2.0 comes out, then I definitely recommend you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.